Hello and welcome back to the Not the Old Firm YouTube channel. My name is Ben Banks. Back today to look back on the weekend's fixtures a wee bit later than usual, so apologies for that. But nonetheless, we'll look back on what was another busy weekend in Scottish football, full of talking points, action, drama, all the usual you would expect from Scottish football, as well as we will hear from players and managers we spoke to over the weekend. If you do like this type of content, do remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Right, we'll get straight into it then because there's plenty to go through, especially on the Saturday where we were at all four matches, and then there was obviously two on the Sunday due to Celtic and Rangers' involvement in the Europa League. So on the Saturday it was Hamilton 1, Kilmarnock 0, Livingston 2, Dundee United 0, Motherwell 0, Hibs 3, and St Mirren 1, Aberdeen 1. All didn't really go without talking points. And then on the Sunday was Ross County 0, Rangers 4, a tough one for the Staggies, and then St Johnstone getting another good result, one each away to Celtic as the pressure mounts at Celtic Park. But of course, here on Not the Old Firm, focusing on St Johnstone, and it's a great result for them, taking their unbeaten run to 11. We'll go through those games in the order we've just read them out, starting with Hamilton Kilmarnock. 1-0 for Accies, a good win for them. It lifts them off bottom after caps off a really good week. They got the 1-0 forfeit for their game against 3-0 forfeit, for their game against St Mirren, and they followed that up with a 1-0 win against Kilmarnock, who were on the opposite side of that. They had to forfeit their game against Motherwell that they had in hand due to the COVID-19 protocol guilty verdict that was brought against them and St Mirren. 3-0 forfeits and £40,000 suspended fines all round. We spoke to Hamilton manager Brian Rice at the end of that one, who had praise for substitute Nathan Thomas after his impact on the game, whereas Kilmarnock manager Alex Dyer was far from happy with the punishments Kilmarnock had been given.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah, 6 points. And we couldn't ask for anything. The 3 points obviously during the week, out with our control, but we had to work hard to earn the 3 points today. I think our second half performance we just about merited it. Yeah, the plus points is that we carried on the performance for Aberdeen. Defensively we were strong. In second half we looked a real threat going forward, although Kilmarnock were down to 10 men. Yeah, the same scenario down there, and they were down to 10 men, and they deserved to beat us down there with 10 men. I said that at the time, but I think today, on our second half performance, especially when Nathan Thomas came on, he gave us that wee bit extra dimension further up the field, and we were brave. We took a defender off and stuck on an extra forward, and he sparked life into us. And I thought he played really well when he came on, and he'll be a good signing if we can get him fit.
Maybe so. I mean, it's not been a good week for the football club because obviously the officials have decided to give the opposition 3 points. Doesn't make sense to me when we're going through what we go through. I've repeated myself, but the whole country, whole world's going through a pandemic, and the SPL's decided to come at us a little bit, when they should be protecting us, and keep giving us things to do things the right way. We're trying to do the best. The club spent a lot of money working hard and putting in the right measurements, and we've been slapped around the face a few times this week. So down south, big Premiership games happen. Got called off yesterday, and all they've said to them is like, hope everyone gets well, and we rearrange the game another time. Simple, done. But everything's a drama.
Was just the spirit of it bad, in that you have tried?
Look, all I know, we've tried our best. We've done. The logistics of what we've done is, first there was 1 metre, then it was 2 metre. Do you know what I mean? And they've picked up on it, and they've gone, and we've had to go with it. A lot of things have happened behind the scene, which probably you lot wouldn't know, which you don't know about. But this inquiry's been a joke. It should never have happened in the first place. Like I said, the SPL is meant to protect us and look after us, and all of a sudden they want to punish us. Us and St Mirren. Doesn't make sense to me. Like I said, we're a good football club. We've got good people here, good owners, good staff, and we'll go again.
Tony Macaroni now 2-0 win for Livingston against Dundee United as David Martindale continues his good start at West Lothian is interim boss. He's been head of football operations and assistant manager under Gary Holt, but now he's wanting the full-time job at Livingston.
I thought the boys were brilliant. As I said to Brian, I said to Stuart, first 20-25 minutes I thought both teams were having a wee go at each other, and then for 25 minutes onwards I think we dominated our style of playing the game. I thought the boys were fantastic. I don't think Dundee United created that much. It was looking at the game, I said to the boys at half time, keep doing what you're doing. We had a couple of subtle changes, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm confident the goal will come. Got to help, isn't it, surely? I've said to the club, I said like I would like the job, I would be delighted to get the job, but if the club see me staying in my current role, I'm more than happy to do that. I want to do what's right for the club. This club's been unbelievable for me, so whatever the club decide, I'll go along with it. Doesn't want your favour. I need to get rid of the chief executive and the chairman. I need to start a protest. Listen, Robert and John know how I feel. I know how they feel, and as I said, honest, this club's been unbelievable for me and my family, so whatever they want me to do, I'm more than happy to do it. But not to be honest, I think we left it on Monday and they said, look, we're quite happy, we'll just teach it. We're more than comfortable with what the team's doing just now, so I don't know. I think the next step is probably Robert and John approaching me and telling me where they are in the process, but I do know we're not in any great rush. We'll probably keep it last to Christmas if you keep winning games of football. It saves another wage.
And at the end of that one as well, we also heard from Thomas Courts, the stand-in Dundee United manager, due to their COVID-19 outbreak at the moment. You've got 9 first-team players isolated, as well as Mickey Mellon and all his first-team staff. And Thomas Courts has explained to the press after the game sort of what Mickey Mellon was doing to influence tactics and decisions at the Tony Macaroni Arena.
Yeah, I think the game went exactly the way we expected it to in the first 45 minutes. I thought we were managing the pitch, the territory really well. We were controlling Livingston, and I felt like the boys took a little bit of confidence that the plan was actually working. You can see there was a lot of maturity on the pitch, there was composure, and we were actually trying to play in a style that was actually going to take us up the pitch in quite a controlled fashion. So it probably was the proverbial game of two halves today. The gaffer was orchestrating substitutions, he was orchestrating alterations, so he had a direct line into the bench. So we were essentially facilitating today, trying to be partners for the players at the side of the pitch in terms of just making sure that they stuck to the plan. And again, I can only reiterate, I felt like the first 45 minutes, it looked like we were growing into the game. It was a very controlled away performance in the Scottish Premiership, and I probably expected in the second half, and that expectation wasn't actually evident in the way that I addressed the players at half time, but I certainly felt like we could have actually grew into the game and actually had a stronger foothold. See, if I'm being completely honest, and this is the honest truth, I don't even know what the allegations are. The last 3 or 4 days have been an absolute whirlwind. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, pulling plans together. There's testing that goes along with that. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind, and I'm actually unaware of what the allegations actually are. But as far as I'm concerned, when I got the remit to get tested, support the manager and his staff, provide a service to the players, that was just my immediate focus. So I'm not entirely sure what else has actually been happening and going on. I feel like you're actually trying to have a go at me here because there's 49 people and I didn't get an invite to that. Yeah, so it shows you how highly rated I am at the club if there's 49 people and I'm not actually there. So yeah, I'm not aware of that because as part of the academy staff under 18s, we're outside the first team bubble, and it's actually very difficult to get even remotely close, to the first team environment. So if that's an indication of how well the club orchestrate its protocols, I would probably say as an employee of the club who's up at St Andrews every day, I hardly even see the first team players.
Motherwell versus Hibs, one I was at the weekend personally. A really even first half before Hibs completely took the game away from Motherwell in the second. Motherwell did have chances. They had a goal disallowed, perhaps wrongly in the eyes of Stephen Robinson, who we'll hear from shortly. But in the end, mistakes at both boxes sort of killed Motherwell in this one, and Hibs took full advantage, turned in a brilliant second half display to win 3-0. And we heard from both managers, Stephen Robinson at Giant Ross, at the end of this one.
Obviously, the scoreline's disappointing. Kane almost didn't go for us in the game. The goal disallowed changes the whole game. Hopefully I'll get an apology from the referee. We make mistakes. I'm not saying that's a reason we lost, but it certainly changes the momentum of the game. Going in at half-time 1-0, Hibs are a good side. They've got some very, very good forward players. And they have to come out and chase the game and that leaves us to expose them at the back. They didn't have to do that. Defending wise, we didn't defend well enough in the 1v1 situations against their good players like Martin Boylan, and they have the luxury of bringing Doidge off the bench, who they've paid a lot of money for, and the front boys were probably the difference in the game. We had chances, Tony's 2 great chances, and Bevis hits the post and we have a goal disallowed. So it's a hard one to take today because I'm the first to come out and say we can be better and hold my hands up, but we got punished for errors in our quality up top hold, and we didn't just quite have the rub of the green today.
I've been really pleased with him in recent weeks. I think that there's such high expectations of him now because of how he's performed in recent seasons, and particularly the impact he made when I came into the job and him coming back from injury. So when there's high expectations, there becomes maybe people pay more attention to him. I think he's found that this season, but in recent weeks his form's been really, really good. And it becomes obvious when he scores such a good goal today, and I think it's unfortunate he doesn't score before that as well. So he's a massive, massive player for us, and he's made this season his contribution to goals and assists is excellent. Delighted for him. Was unfortunate not to play. It was a difficult decision for me because I think first of all, any time I leave him out isn't easy for me, and he's trained really well this week. So tough decision. The one thing I'll never doubt is his attitude when he comes on the pitch. He's brilliant to work with in that respect, and he looked sharp. He looked how he trained all week. So pleased that he got his reward with the goal as well, because it's been a little bit of a frustrating period for him in front of goal.
Another we heard from at the end of this game was Jordan Archer, the goalkeeper, former Scotland international. He could still be in with a shout if he hits form before next June of going to the Euros. But he made his Mull debut after a short-term signing at Fir Park. He's had a tough maybe 18 months or so of football. He made over 160 appearances at Millwall, but last season wasn't able to cement himself at Oxford United and then Fulham. He had a failed trial at Bournemouth earlier this season after some matches with the Cherries, but that move didn't go through. And now he is tied down at Fir Park until next month. Obviously, the long-term future will have to come into sinking at some point, but for now, he's just happy to be back playing football.
Yeah, as you said, it's been a while since I've been out there. It's been a difficult couple of months, and it's not the same about the fans, but overall, it felt really good to get back out there. But obviously, difficult result. But we're gonna pick ourselves back up and keep on moving forward. It's been a couple of years, but there's been a few twists and turns in my career in the past couple of years, but I'm happy now to find the club and to find the Gaffy, that has given me the opportunity to go out there and get some. Yeah, there's some fantastic keepers at the club. Some of the boys have been unfortunate with their injuries, even you've got a young lad, Matty, coming through, you've got to keep out alone as well. So, there's always competition. Big chap who's done well in his played as well. Got a fantastic group here, and Hinchy's trainers, second to none as well. So I'm really enjoying myself in that aspect.
It just nice to sort of get back out there, because obviously you've bounced about a couple of clubs, and you were on trial with Bournemouth, was it as well? Yeah. I was down at Bournemouth, probably a couple of friendlies there. Things were out of my control in that aspect. But as I said, to be actually signed to a club now, and be able to, get the back end of the gaffer and the goalkeeper coach and the rest of the staff, that helps my confidence a lot.
And finally, on the Saturday, St Mirren won, Aberdeen won, a rematch of the League Cup game, which St Mirren won 2-1 the week previous. This one, still no Aberdeen win, but this time a change in the score, 1 each. It finished, Aberdeen finishing with 10 men, Lewis Ferguson sent off, and a penalty given against them as well. Jamie McGrath scoring again against Aberdeen. I think Joe Lewis won't want to see Jamie McGrath after the last couple of weeks. But St Mirren, it's a mixed feeling for them. They probably feel they should have won this game despite the fact they're playing Aberdeen, and they extended their unbeaten run to 8. However, due to the 3-0 forfeits that went against their side this week, they did drop to the bottom of the table with results elsewhere going against them as well. So again, another really poor week for the Buddies, and some of it not really of their own doing, in terms of they had 6 points taken off them, and potentially 6 points taken off them. 3-0 forfeits against them, couldn't get the win on the weekend, and they dropped the bottom. So it's been a tough week for St Mirren, and we heard from St Mirren manager Jim Goodwin at the end of that, as well as Aberdeen boss Derek McInnes, who wasn't happy with referee Bobby Madden and Pace.
I don't want to get too carried away with league positions at the moment. It's still very early days, obviously, a lot of football to be played. But I think if we can play to that kind of standard, most weeks, then no doubt we win more games than we lose. Of course, tonight I'm standing here really frustrated, extremely disappointed that we didn't take all 3 points. We had enough chances, I think, to put the game out of sight, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that. So you know, we feel as if it's 2 points wrong. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, you know, we've got to be pleased with the overall performance, the way we moved the ball at times, even 11v11, the way we passed and probed and caused Aberdeen problems. But inevitably, people will look at the opportunities that we missed, and rightly so. You know, we need to do better in those areas, and we'll do plenty of excellent finishing this week, and hopefully next week we'll be able to put that right. Yeah, we're on a very good run. Yeah, we're unbeaten in 8 games, and you know, under normal circumstances, we'd be delighted with the boys against Aberdeen because they're a very good side with some really top players. That was a real, you know, people spoke about the players that Aberdeen were missing on during the week in the cup. Sorry, last weekend in the cup, and you know, I felt that 11 we faced in the cup was a strong 11. Obviously, they added 3 players to the starting 11 tonight, which definitely made it even tougher task today. But 11v11, I thought it was a decent game. I thought we started the brighter, then I thought Aberdeen was getting into it. But second, obviously, we totally dominated the game.
So I think it was to be a key way to win the game. We attacked in the first 10 minutes and we did the whole the first half last week. I think the commitment, the spirit of the team was good. We scored a very good goal. It wasn't perfect the first half. Someone looked lively and turned over possession. I thought it was like to play too much an influence with runners going off him. So we had the work cut out clearly, but we should go in 1-0 up at half time. I'm really disappointed with the penalty decision against us. I know referees are under pressure with the new rules. I spoke about it at half time. I haven't seen it again. I actually don't know what Tom Gomez meant to do there. All these referees meetings we attend, all the instances that we show and examples of handball and how we come to the decision. But the biggest criteria, one of the biggest criteria is distance, and that is normally taken into consideration before a referee would give a penalty kick. That hasn't been the case today. Yeah, I think that's harsh on him. You know, referees tell me every week that a foul in the opposition half isn't stopping a promising attack. It should be at times. I don't think that is stopping a promising attack. I think Fergie's been kind of fobbed off. Baker's used his strength, his body, as he would do. If Fergie's bundled into him, I don't see that as a yellow card offence. And I think there's got to be some sort of discretion there from the I wasn't sure he was going to give it. I thought he had an NEC could come out with a card after the event. I think it's so harsh on the boy. He complains in the 4th minute attack. Some people are asking for that competitiveness, and he clatters in speed. I think it is a yellow card, even though it's early in the game. But Fergie's had yellow cards early in the game before, and he's always managed his game well. There's a maturity about him. And I think that, I don't think he's put himself in a bad position. I don't think he's made an error. I don't think the error's his.
The Sunday matches, Ross County 0, Rangers 4, and Ross County obviously beat Celtic last week, so perhaps the expectations rose that wee bit because they beat Celtic at Parkhead, but Rangers just too good for anybody domestically just now, and that proved to be the case. Pretty much waltzed into a 4-0 victory, and it probably says a lot about how they're playing just now, that Ross County didn't actually play too badly in this one. They contained them as much as they could, but as soon as that second goal went in, it was a one-way traffic from there. And Ross County did have chances in this one. Conor Randall missed a very good opportunity at 2-0, which could have made it closer, but perhaps most tellingly, Harry Payton missed a shot well saved by Alan McGregor with the game still at 0-0. If that goes in, it is a very different game, because up until the half-hour point, Ross County had contained Rangers much like they did Celtic, but eventually the floodgates opened. James Tavernier getting a goal, a couple of assists again, Kamara Roof as well scoring, Jermaine Defoe scoring on his 800th appearance in professional football. So that type of quality was the difference in Dingwall. Celtic 1, St Johnstone 1 is the final game we're going to look at. A really good result for St Johnstone, albeit probably feel they should have taken 3 points. Chris Kane scored with 10 minutes to go before Mohamed El Younousi scored a looping header, somewhat fortuitously, in the sort of final 5 minutes or so there. But Cam Davidson said still a good result for them. He said after the game that if he'd have been offered a draw before the game, he'd have snapped your hand off for it. And that was sort of the same sentiment after it. People shouldn't just write off Celtic as an easy 3 points just now, just because of the way they're playing. Still got by far and away, arguably the best squad in Scotland. And compared to teams like St Johnstone, Kilmarnock, who they've got next at home in the league, they are head and shoulders above them in terms of resources. So still a very good point for St Johnstone. Ross County obviously beating them last week. So Kilmarnock perhaps looking at that, when maybe this is a chance for us to build some points as well. Obviously, they're going to need a wee bit of a lift after the week they've had. But for St Johnstone, good result for them. They're building a decent run of form. They're into the cup quarter-finals. They've got Livingston at home next week. Another chance to get 3 points, and all of a sudden you could slowly see them, after a slow start to the season, you could see them start to that sort of top 6 area. But that'll be all looked at next week on next week's review and preview, so we do stick about for that. We hope you do enjoy this video. In the meantime, do remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and until next time, take it easy.